Hi, this is Regina White Favors coming to you with Rebound Relationship Special Topics. This is part of my Life Rebound and Recovery series where I explore particular trending topics and also just everyday relationship topics. Take some time to listen to this audio discussion, maybe gain some insight. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment and I will respond. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification button if you're interested in further topics. This is Rebound Relationship Special Topics. Thank you very much for visiting the channel. All right, one of the most important aspects of this, and I like to talk about this a lot because people don't want to hear it, and it's something that I might have struggled with, even though sometimes you can have a job and you can have a place to stay, but you can also have a problem with taking responsibility for yourself as an adult. If you are an adult and you are constantly having trouble paying your rent, or you are always needing to borrow money for something, or you're always going back to a parent or something like that, that is part of your irresponsibility. Because if you are an adult, you should take care of yourself as an adult. So don't let in irresponsibility, which further means that a man should be able to take care of himself. Once you let a man in, you let in his irresponsibility. Where has he shown you that he can take care of himself? That he can have a place to live and keep a place, keep a job, stay on a job, stay stable. Don't get into a bunch of toxic, chaotic situations. Moving in changes his status. It changes his position as a man. And sure, he might be okay to move in with you, but in some regards, he's never going to respect you, because it's almost like speaking weakness to him and letting him move in. And so then he's, ironically going to look for somebody who didn't let him move in, and then turn around and leave you and marry that person. So that man needs to show you that he knows how to manage himself, manage his life, take care of himself, have his own place, pay for his own place, keep a job to ensure that he will always continue to pay for his own place. He needs to take care of himself. Don't let in financial laziness. So a man should be able to manage his own finances. That's another thing. He shouldn't always have to ask you for money. And I've been listening to, a lot of YouTubers, how they will, talk about certain aspects of, dusty men and unproductive men. And I particularly like one YouTuber named Chloe. And she made an interesting statement that a woman should never give a man any money. And I had already made my audios. I had already made my PowerPoint slides that you see here, but I hadn't really put them to audio until now. And it's something to think about that she says in her audio series, she doesn't even give a homeless man any money. And I thought about that too. And I had listened to that audio, I don't know, maybe like a month ago or so. And it is interesting, because when you think about a woman would do almost anything to make sure that her child has what he or she needs. A woman will strip at the strip club. She has been known to be an escort, a prostitute. She'll do whatever she has to do to get it done, to provide for her family, to provide a home for her kids. When a man can't manage his own finances, you don't see the same hustling. What you see oftentimes is he may be getting into drugs, maybe illegal behavior or something like that. But you see sometimes a man going and asking a woman for money, and his woman for money. And then if he feels like he can get that woman to give him money, he might turn around and ask another woman for money. And then he'll have a whole lot of women on deck who give him money. And you need to see how he manages his finances, how he talks about savings, how he talks about the retirement plan, how he talks about putting things back, what he does with his money. Does he put it all on perishable items, stuff that has no true value? That's something that you need to manage, because if he's losing all of his money, gambling it away, then you are the one who would have to pick up the slack. And that's what happened with me in my first, uh, situation. Right out of my mother's house, moved in with a boy. Um, I knew it was wrong, but I did it in a way. And he managed always to leave the job, go across the bridge. We have a saying out here in Dallas: go across the bridge, go to the liquor store, uh, drink himself, until he was drunk, and then he would go and buy his friends stuff. And by the time he got to the house, he didn't have any money. Either he didn't have any money, or he just hid his money very well. Well, then I had to end up paying the rent. I ended up having to pay everything else. Like I said, I didn't know he was running game on me at the time. I was really young, really stupid, really naive. And so, if you're talking about living with someone or marrying someone, you really do need to know how that person manages his finances, because then he ended up getting us put out of the place that we were in, and then I had to take my money to pay for the new place. So he was just really all over the place, and I was all over the place, and two idiots came together all over the place. So managing your finances is important, because it speaks to your character. It speaks to your thinking about money. That there's a scripture in the Bible that says that reads, "Money answereth all things." And there is a corresponding scripture that the love of money is the root of all evil. And so, what sort of belief system does the person have? The fact that you have a job and a place to live, money answereth all things, in terms of if the job, the money that you get from the job helps you to pay your rent. That's an answer to the problem. You have to pay your rent. But you have some people who believe they don't have to pay their rent. They'll find a mother, a father, a friend, an old girlfriend, or something like that. That's something that you need to know. Don't let in an emotional bed hopper. So the person, I notice with men sometimes, um, they will play this little game, like when they decide to cheat with an ex, they want to say, "We were on a break." Okay. They like to play this game just because you ran out of the house mad, or he ran out of the house mad, that y'all were no longer together. So that little moment of time where he went back and had sex with somebody else, oh, that was all right for him to do because y'all were on a break. That's not true. A true breakup means that you both say to each other, you no longer want the relationship. And you don't want a person who jumps back and forth between you and an ex, because he's not choosing every ex to do that. He's choosing that one ex that maybe he feels like got away, or they never work things out. They really do want each other, but they can't seem to come together. And so he's all over the place. He can't manage his emotions, and he has to be comforted through sex. He doesn't know how to self comfort. And some person who, and most men don't get these types of strategies as women do, as girls. We are taught to express ourselves and cry, and go to our daddies and go to our mommies. A young boy is not is expected to be quiet. Don't cry. Suck it up. Be a man. So he's actually expected to be a man at 8 years old, right? So they never get the process of learning how to manage their emotions. That's something that you need to, think about. What kind of relationship does he have with his father? What kind of relationship does he have with his mother? When he gets mad at his mother, who does he go to? You know, I grew up in a situation where my mother used to pit all of us against each other, all of my siblings. She would talk to me about two other siblings, then she would talk to them about me and another sibling. And so she was an emotional hopper, you know, not necessarily bed hopper, but she was a emotional hopper. She didn't know how to manage her own emotions, and she used us kids to sort of get through those emotions at that time. And she sort of still that same way. So that means she had never had any real intent to learn any other way to do it. And so a man should be able to manage his emotions. Don't let in lack of improvement. So we all should be we should all have a goal to improve. You know, we know what unmoving water does, right? It remains stagnant, right? And it stinks. When water doesn't move, it stinks, right? And you should never really date someone who is not willing to improve, let alone marry that person. And I know that's hard to say because I'm not saying not to date someone who works at McDonald's. I'm not talking about that. But even if the person works at McDonald's, is he willing to move up to maybe lead, shift manager, supervisor, anything, just to move up from whatever he's been doing? If you see a person who's been working at McDonald's for 20 years and they're still doing fries, that's something. Sure, he can keep a job and stay on a job for 20 years, but he's not looking to do much more than to increase his earnings potential, to increase maybe and improve his economic status, right? Nothing wrong with any job, whatever it is, but it is important to have some improvement. So even if you don't want the improvement on the job, maybe you have self-improvement. Maybe you decide to take an exercise class. Maybe you decide to learn a language. Maybe you decide to take a jujitsu class or something like that. Those are things I'm interested in, and I have planned those out. I keep a journal. So improvement overall, just in general, should be everyone's sort of short-term, mid-term, long-term goal. When it comes to improvement in terms of a man should be able to assess his strengths and weaknesses, men like to win. They like the W. They don't like the L. They don't like to lose. But when they lose, they sort of get quiet. They get angry. They get sort of turned around emotionally and psychologically about it. And they won't really address the loss. What they do is push for another win. Well, you got to address losses, everyone really, but men definitely need to address a loss. And they need to develop a strategy for understanding how they lost and then move towards a strategy of winning again. So a man should be able to assess his strengths and weaknesses. You know, I have had the struggle of trying to tell a man what his strengths and weaknesses are. And that has been, you know, kind of my downfall. And it wasn't that I was trying to be less than humble in the situation. Sometimes you can pick up on somebody's issues, and maybe their issue is something that you struggled with, and then you say, here's what you could do, here's what you should do, here's what you need to do. And you go into these you need to, it's almost like pointing the finger, even though you are not raising your finger to their face, but they look at it like that. And so the more you do that, the more they sort of step back and don't want to listen to what you have to say. So then what is the alternative? Are you going to assess your own weaknesses, your own strengths, your own gaps in your knowledge base, things like that? And if they're not willing to do that, they will stay stagnant. They will, their water will stink. they will have problems, because if you get into a long-term relationship and they're not the types of people who like to actually move forward emotionally, psychologically, financially, it's going to show up in as a chaotic situation in your relationship. Don't let in disrepair. A man should be able to repair and recover. Um, we all get knocked down. I've lost my job before. I was homeless as a result of losing that job. And you have to have a plan. When they move into your house, what kind of plan are they, after? What are they trying to do? Some folks would just sit around all day and have nothing and won't do anything. And they need to figure out what areas of their life need repair. Just like you take a hammer and you look at a door that's kind of off its hinge and is about to fall off, and you say to yourself, that door is not operating quite like a door should, because one hinge is fine but the other hinge is not, and it's sort of knocking up against a wall, and it looks like it's about to fall off the hinge. And so something automatically in you tells you that you need to repair it. So then why don't we see that in ourselves? Why don't we see the fact that we don't save money as a target for saying that we need to save money? Why don't we see the fact that we get offended so easily that we are raising our voice, changing our level of tone, and offending another person? Because it's just much easier to stay in that kind of thinking because it's much more convenient. And then every time there's a situation, you pull from the recesses of your mind and your experiences that type of thinking. A man should be able to repair and recover. The person needs to be able to address, should be able to recognize issues before you even call those issues to his attention. You should not be the person who always has to tell a man who he is and what he is and what he is not. That he should have the wherewithal to be able to look at himself in the mirror, look at that man in the mirror, as Michael Jackson sings, look at that man in the mirror and say, I'm not functioning properly. I'm all over the place. This right here, I need to repair. And whatever this is for each person, for each man, for each woman, only you know what that this is. But whatever it is, it's not working properly. It's not working. It is making me dysfunctional. So how do I repair this? That means you're going to have to read some books, watch some YouTube videos, get some counseling, talk to somebody, accept your faults, accept your issues, and then begin the process of recovery. And recovery is actually a process. So a man should be able to repair and recover. Don't let in lack of planning, okay, which is very important. That a man should be able to envision a future. I never forget Tupac in that movie, I think Juice, when he's talking to the other character, was it Omar Epps? I think Omar Epps. And he's saying to that character in the high school hallway near the lockers, he doesn't give a F about anything. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't have to, he don't have anything basically to live for. He doesn't give a F about anything. And that's something about him saying that just whatever, it bothered me in my soul, even before I understood what that really meant, that it bothered me in my soul. And that from that statement in a film, I knew not to work with any more people who thought like that. That those were the types of people that I could never be in relationship with, because they are reckless. they have no vision, they have no purpose. They wake up every day only with the goal to be chaotic. And think about, you remember him in that movie, he was the one who was doing all of that killing of all the friends, shooting them and killing them. And so nothing in him said to him, his conscience or anything, I should not be doing this. No, he just kept doing it. And he was going to continue to do it until Omar Epps' character had to stop him. Right? And then the kids say, okay, you got the juice now. And then he didn't really want to take on that. But don't let in lack of planning. If that person has to move in with you, that means that they did not plan somewhere. When I had to move in with my mother for a short term after I lost my job from in San Diego, and then lost my job out here due to a layoff, that really reflected lack of planning. And what I mean by that, you don't know if you're going to lose your job. I didn't know I was going to lose my job, and I didn't do anything to lose my job. It was just a layoff. But planning is important in your 20s. When that situation happened, and it was during a recession, that happened in my early 30s. I mean, in my 30s, leading all the way to my late, and it took some time to recover. And I'm not fully recovered, but I'm definitely a lot better than I was before. But if I had done what I was supposed to do and planned well when I was in my 20s, I would have had the understanding and the knowledge to plan for emergencies. I would have been able to hear what you see here with Susie Orman saying develop an emergency fund, right? I'm in that thinking now, but it should not have taken me to my 40s to think like that. That had I done it right in my 20s, I wouldn't have had to probably move in with somebody, and it wouldn't have had to be toxic. So a man should know how to envision a future. If he doesn't have plans, that is not the person to marry, let alone be in relationship with, because he has no goals, he has no purpose, everything is going to be chaos, and he's just going to react however way he's going to react without any sort of temperance, temperament, just any restraint or boundaries. That's what I basically mean. No restraint or boundaries. So don't let in lack of planning. A man should know how to envision a future. All right, so hopefully you were able to gain insight from this video discussion. Please like, subscribe, and visit. So please like the video, hit the notification bell for more discussions. I am re-uploading all of my audios, so I needed to make some changes to them. You can visit my website for more content at reginayfavors.com. If you want to send me an email, you can send an email reginayfavors@yahoo.com. Please also purchase the book. It's going to come out in spring 2021. So I had to make changes to my book to update it, and I also updated the title. So the original title was Bait, Hook, and Switch: Confessions of a Rebound Girl, and I have updated the title to Toxic Encounters: Why People Pursue Rebound Relationships. So right now I'm still basically editing it, and I want to make it available in spring 2021. So thank you very much for visiting my channel, and I am Regina Y. Favors. Have a great day.